Hey peeps! I thought I would do a little video today talking about the Sabbath of Samhain as we approach this powerful witches' Sabbath and how we can work with this energy in a way that is authentic for us, especially if we are new to connecting with ritual Sabbath observances in our practice. So I've been doing a lot of reflecting on this Sabbath as I prepare for the circle observance of this Samhain with the group that is participating this year. And I thought that I would like to share something on the channel. I think it's been a little time since I've shared in this way for a Sabbath on the channel. I tend to share personal observances around this time of year and deck lists, you know, what I'm loving, what I'm using a lot of. But I kind of wanted to do a little refresher for those of us who have been observing Sabbaths for some time. And then I wanted to create an offering for those of us who might be new to this path for observance of this Sabbath. And at the end of this video, I will have a tarot spread that I've created for you if you would like to work a little spread for yourself in preparation for the observance. So the Sabbath of Samhain in the Wheel of the Year for witches is the third of the harvest Sabbaths, and it's very much about the release that comes with the death energy of the earth lying dormant and being prepared to go underground. I think for me as a witch, it's really come to represent a journey through the underworld. And we do typically think of this observance as one of the Sabbaths where the veil is the thinnest. And so it's very easy to communicate with our beloved dead. It's very easy to communicate through and across liminal space. If you're someone with psychic ability or who considers themselves to be a medium, this Sabbath can be very, very intense. It's a wild, beautiful ride. And it's very much laden with darker imagery, again, of the underworld, of going underground. I think often of Ian Daniels' Moon card when I think about this Sabbath, this ghostly vampire, and behind her, the entrance to her own underworld labyrinth. And we get a chance to explore our own darkness and also the darkness of the magic that is death magic. That is the magic of endings, of releasing, of letting go. And it's a powerful time to work magic for ourselves around those awarenesses for ourselves. What is it that we're ready to let go of? What is it that we're ready to let reach its own natural end at this time? We as a society, I think we really want to hold on to things. We want to live as long as possible, which is an admirable thing, right? We want to hold on to relationships and security for as long as we can, as tightly as we can, right? And yet growth and evolution happens in the shift from one state of being to another many, many times. And so endings, death, releases are a natural part of the process of being human and of evolving as a soul. And so this Sabbath is an opportunity to celebrate that. When we take something and we celebrate it, when we honor it, when we express our own reverence for it, we can start to find our way into understanding the purpose of that cycle in our life. And as with all things on a witch's path, that's reflected in nature. So when we see the ground lie fallow, when, the plants die, when the trees shed their leaves and prepare for their own slumber and hibernation, when we watch the animals preparing for the winter season, we really get this sense of what Samhain is representing insofar as the time that it is for us. It's a time to be quiet. It's a time for reflection. It's a time for communion with non-corporeal beings. And it's a time to allow our practice to feed us from a standpoint of not so much giving out, but looking within, going within. I don't know. To me, it's the most magical of the Sabbaths, and I always feel very magically connected, very mysterious and sexy and sensual. And I always feel very drawn to create with this Sabbath. in a way that I don't always feel drawn to create in the more festive of the Sabbats. So if you're someone who's a bit contrary like me, I think you might find yourself really feeling energized around this Sabbat. But either way, there's a power to rest, and there is a power to ceasing activity and sitting still. And this Sabbat very much calls for that type of energy. So your ritual as you step into this Sabbath observance can be as simple as being still and talking to deity, to guides, to loved ones who've passed over in front of your altar. There can be offerings that are made to your beloved dead, to deity that you feel very connected to. There can be card work done. Ritual clearing of your space, an acknowledgement of what you're ready to let go of, and an acknowledgement of who you find yourself to be in your bones. I love that idea of when we strip away all the extraneous. I mean, I love a lot of layers, obviously, right, in this human case, but when we strip those layers away, like who are we at our core, and really looking at that. And that's something that while other humans around us can speak to how they experience us, who we are at our core is really our truth, and witnessed most powerfully by the guides that walk with us, deity that shares this journey, our own divine essence that is incarnated in this physical form. So those things are solitary, and this Sabbath allows for our exaltation and exploration of those solitary aspects of ourself. It's a very, very beautiful Sabbath, and it can be as juicy or as solemn as you would like it to be. This isn't going to be a video on how to observe Samhain. I think there's plenty of how-to videos and articles out there to find on the web. It's more a discussion of the essence instead of just buy an orange candle and a black candle and do this and then you've celebrated and observed Samhain. That's not really the witch's path. And I think those of us who are walking a path as a witch understand that you have to tap into what your specific blend of magic is, and that creates its own way of observing that's far more authentic and real than just following a prescribed recipe to understand or to be saved. Spiritual paths like the ones that we choose to follow, it's not about being saved. It's about maybe waking up and coming to life, right? And part of coming to life means that there's an aspect of you that is released. So this Sabbath celebrates that, it venerates that, it raises that. And I think a lot of us collectively are feeling called to explore ancestral wounding at this time. And this is a Sabbath that really lets us get in touch with that by communing with those who have passed over within our ancestral line, within our DNA, and to be able to have conversations with those energies and to explore where you're carrying forward the karmic thread that runs through a lineage, a physical lineage. That can be very empowering, and it can also really be very unifying within the self, because it can help you understand perhaps why there's a pattern that you struggle with in your own experience, or a storyline that no matter how hard you try to get away from it, you seem to keep coming back to it. And I believe in each incarnation, we carry the story forward for those who have come before us. And so understanding what we are specifically exploring on our path can help us to show up in a different way for ourselves and for others. When I say different, I don't mean a better way. I mean a real way, a way where we're really present, because we understand we're not just reacting, but instead we have an understanding of the big picture. So this path is just such a gift. I know those of you who have found my channel feel the same way about your own paths. And I think that this is a Sabbath observance that really allows for celebration of that. If you are new to the path and you are looking for what faces of deity could I connect with? Energetic animal essence, that would be very powerful. I would say would be serpent, owl, vulture. If you are looking to connect with deity like Santa Muerta, Hades, Osiris, the energy of the Christian god, Satan the devil. You can work with the Morrigan, you can work with Hecate. You can work with any face of deity, because deity contain entire stories within their myths, of course, but underworld deity, like goddesses like Hel, for example, Babylon, Lilith, they can be really wonderful ones to connect with around this Sabbath and help us to understand a little bit of the dirtiness and grittiness that we carry within our human experience as well, raising it above judgment or punishment, and more stepping into a space of understanding. Santa Muerta is a very powerful deity to connect with for this Sabbath as well. And her observance the very next day, and carrying through the beginning of November, really lends well to the Sabbath. And so I often will walk with Santa Muerta for this Sabbath observance. Fabio Lestrani has some beautiful decks connected with Santa Muerta if you're looking for specific decks for that. But if you're looking for tarot decks to connect with and you're new on your journey, any kind of dark themed tarot deck is delicious and delightful, like Tarot of Vampires, Murder of Crows, the True Black Tarot is another lovely one, especially if you're looking for that beauty of Persephone's journey into the underworld. I think that deck carries that very well. But any dark themed deck like that, and I do have a Samhain and Halloween deck list video that's new on the channel if you're looking for some other recommendations, can really help you dive deep with this Sabbath. So I just wanted to share some observances, especially if you're new or looking for a refresher in regards to the craft when it comes to this Sabbath. And I have created a small 5-card spread if you'd like to work with it for this observance. I encourage you to have fun with this one. I just ask that you credit me if you are posting it online in any way. It's a 5-card spread. Many of you know, if you're OG and you've been with me for a long time, I don't do set positions. I don't have a recommended way to lay out your 5 cards. Lay out your 5 cards however they look the best to you when you're working with them. But again, this is a 5-card spread. I will post in the description box below the questions for each of the 5 positions so that you don't have to stress about pausing and trying to jot all this down. Card position number 1, what is the energy of this Samhain for me? Card position number 2, how can I best embrace that energy? Card position number 3, what am I prepared to let die as I connect with this particular Samhain observance? Card position number 4, what underworld will I explore over this next turning of the wheel? And card position number 5, what face of deity is guiding me? If you don't work with deity, you could always insert the title guide or angel there if that feels more appropriate for you. But as you move through the powerful energy of this most blessed of witches' Sabbaths, and as the energy raises and coalesces as we get closer and closer to next week, please know I am sending you, as always, much love and many blessings, and I will see you in the next video.